It's that time. It's that time again. It's your boy and your host, Charles Becco, y'all. And today, we want to talk about something that you know we like talking about. You know what it is? It's the stock market, y'all. And, yeah, we're going to try to figure out. It's that time again. We're going to try to answer the question. Are we going to crash? Are we going to crash? Is that something that's going to happen? Let's figure it out. All right. Time for this music to come off. All right. Again, everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here today. I am your hostess with the mostest, Charles Becco, and today we will be talking about, is the stock market gonna crash, right? It's a doomsday. Like, what's happening here, right? It has been a week or two since we've last posted. I do apologize for that. To make up for it, we'll be doing 2 shows this week, and it will be uploaded to all of the various channels. Again, I am your host, Charles Becco. I am a former financial advisor, master's in business grad. I've been trading the market since 2008, and I'm here to answer the questions, you know. I did predict the crash of 2020. I wrote an article on Medium, explaining that, and we're going to take a look, right? Because we've been pretty okay with pointing some of these things out, and we want to see what is going on here. So for all of my friends here on Clubhouse, right, we have a link up at the top of the description. Just click on that link, and then you will be able to look at the screen here, all right? And this show is streaming on Clubhouse, Clubhouse, Twitch, YouTube, and Meta, Facebook, right? So click on the link, and let's begin. Okay? So one of the first tickers we want to talk about is the VIX, right? So here we are, back again. We are testing in the mid-30s here. What I've been noticing with the VIX is that it's been kind of trending upwards, right? You know, you can see kind of a slope there. Okay, we had with that protracted rally that lasted from June till about mid-July and August, you know, the VIX kind of took a nosedive here, tested the bottom range at around 1920. We actually did a show where we called it out, that we said, hey, this is kind of like a buy zone for the VIX, right? It's been respecting these levels. And we are back here again, you know, fresh MACD cross. Not that it really applies because it's the VIX, right? So, you know, I'm anticipating that one day, right, we'll know when you can say that the crash is or will be happening, right? It's when you see the VIX starts gapping up like this, right? Like these huge gaps, like, you know, you're talking about like $10, $15 gaps a day, right? This is when you know you're hitting max and peak volatility, right? So we will see one day, again, a 60, 70, and an 80 VIX. And at that point, okay, it'll be your best time to dip buy all your favorite stocks, right? So the stocks that you want to buy, whether it be Lee, XPen, Neo, AMD, you know, Square, Airbnb, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin. When you see the VIX, okay, hit about 80, 85, 70, that's usually a sign, right, that a potential temporary, or you can say a potential bottom could be in, right? You can't even really call it a crash unless you see the VIX do these like big, crazy like tornado spikes, right? And so I do believe that is coming at some point, as you can see, right? You see when we had a crash in 2008, you see we hit 80 here. We had a crash in 2020, right? And then we had a few little bumps in the road here in 2010. Once again, 2011. 2015 and 2018, right, where the VIX hit 50. But it's really when you get to that 80 mark, right, that's when you could say, hey, you know, we are in fact crashing and yada yada yada. What I like about this chart, right, is that we can actually see that the VIX is actually in a higher channel than it used to be in, right? You know, so the bottom channel used to be between 10 and 19 there, and now this upper channel is between 19 to 42, right? So very important to realize that, right? Something that excuse me, something that we've been needing to keep an eye on here. See if I can pull up a chart here. Oh no, I was trying to pull up the dollar here. It's not working. Hold on. Let me get this chart up out of here. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I can't get the spot futures in the dollar here. But the dollar has been spiking. Something else to take a look at. Let's look at the Qs here. Okay, this is like, you know, the meat and potatoes of what we do. Take a look at the Qs, take a look at everything else, and make our analysis based on that. We called it out, you know, we called it out a few days ago, right? Or I should say 1 or 2 shows ago, right? Here we are, right? Testing the June lows, okay? I've got my little algorithm here that says maybe we should buy the dip on this, but I don't know. We're testing the weekly 200 on NASDAQ. We should get a bounce from here, right? You just don't touch the 200 without getting some kind of auto bounce. So expect some kind of bounce at some point, right? Expect us to maybe bounce up and get another rally to retest the 1200 level here on NASDAQ, or said a different way. Ugh. See, this is why I always look at that, right? Because this chart just looks so fugly. I just have so many levels on here, and I just really just need to clean up this chart. It's just so fugly. I'm very sorry. There's just so many notes, so many. And it's like, and I do feel like I need to like keep these things on here, you know. But yeah, look for us again. There's 2 support levels here, right? One at 273, another at 272. Yeah, it looks really bad. Okay, we have a weekly MACD cross to the downside, right? But I'm hoping that we could get one last final bounce, hopefully to retest the 290, 300 area before we just peel back down some more, okay? But yeah, I mean, team, this is just looking overwhelmingly bearish, right? The weekly charts here just look just horrendous, right? Okay, that's the weekly chart, weekly MACD cross down. Again, I'm sorry for this chart, right? This chart just looks so ugly, but oof. Yeah, printing out that inverted hammer there, just not good on the Qs. We can look at SPY. SPY's not going to be any better. SPY did a lot worse today than the Qs, unfortunately. Let me look at the ES, because even my ES chart, let me just clean this up. I need to have these redraw some levels. Excuse me. Yeah, so just overall, it just looks so bad. You know, there's just nothing really to see here. We're retesting June lows, and again, I do anticipate that we will go through here. We got another MACD cross to the downside. Again, we're sitting on top of the weekly 200, right, on SPY. So expect, right, that if we go down to 3600 SPY, right, or let me see, that should be 360 even. Yeah, expect that we get to 358, 360 even on SPY here. That you should get an auto bounce, right? So maybe what we need is a nice big spill down, hopefully tomorrow, that we can buy at the weekly 200, and we should get a bounce, right? And to me, that looks like probably some of the easiest money that you may get. I mean, we could just go through the weekly 200, but in the past, like usually, how can I put this? So I feel like the last few times like we hit like the weekly 50 or the weekly 21, the weekly 200. We haven't hit the weekly 200. Matter of fact, I'm bugging. We haven't not hit the weekly 200 since the pandemic, right? But I feel like once you do touch it, you do get some kind of a bounce, right? Let me see if I could do like a. Let me see here. See if we could do like a 4-day. Let's see. I do feel like you do get like a bounce. I do feel like you do get a bounce there once you do touch it, right? But let's do 3 years. All right. Okay. Oof. So, okay, so you've seen here during the pandemic, right? It looks like the day that we touched the weekly 200, we did attempt the bounce, right, from 304 to 311. So there was some kind of bounce there, but we didn't finish lower. So, you know, we didn't stay here very often. You know, we did get some kind of a bounce, but again, it should be more automatic than this. But it typically seems it's just never a good sign when you're at your weekly 200, right? Like that's a problem, especially for the Qs and the SPY here. Just sitting on top of it. I mean, we blink and we hit the lows here at 362, and it looks like it's just gonna happen. Okay. Again, MACD cross. There it is. The one hope that we had for the market, right, was really Apple. Okay, it was really Apple. Let me just fix this chart. I'm sure you guys are like, Charles, why you got all this stuff on your chart? I know, bro. I know. We just try to make the chart a little bit nicer for you guys. Okay. Yeah, let's just see more of the chart, right? So, again, with Apple, right, the issue with Apple here is, I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, you do have a weekly MACD cross down here. To print out two inverted hammers here, you are sitting in the demand zone here, and it's been fighting. It's been trying to, you know, you can see these huge wicks, right, going up and down on Apple from 150 to 160 here, 150-ish to 154, 155. So Apple is trying, but the weekly is just not in like the greatest of shapes, to be honest with you. Let me just kind of pull up the chart here a little bit. You can see that you're beginning to see the weekly MACD cross down there, right? On Apple. Again, Apple was like one of the last vanguards of the stock market, right? We made several videos about it. We talked about it. We said, hey, team, how Apple goes, that's how the market's going to go. Apple still technically is in a short setup. You know, we looked at this monthly time frame here on Apple. We talked about it before. You know, we had a channel that we were working here. We broke the channel. We came lower. We had an opportunity here to kind of break out of the monthly short setup, and we didn't, right? The month before, this is in August, right? We had an opportunity to break out, and if we would have maintained a price above 163.96, that was the pivot point. If we could have just maintained above that, I think gravity would have just taken us up to 180 and all-time highs, right? But we got a harsh rejection last month. We got a monthly MACD cross the downside. It's picking up intensity according to this histogram. We are sitting, again, in this demand zone here between 150 and 148.98. But once that breaks, you know, again, Apple's chart is still relatively strong. This is a very bullish chart. This is and you're looking at the monthly chart. This is the best chart in the stock market, bar none, right? And yeah, Apple is the one of those tickers that's holding the market together, right? Just been able to kind of, and it's a wide channel here, right? From 137 to 182. That's a huge swing. The fact that we were able to have this like mega bounce, right? From the lows here, 132 to 180. It's just incredible, right? And so, yeah, I feel like we should get some kind of a bounce here. But you see, we have a weekly MACD. Well, you can't see. Let me just pull up the chart here. You do have a weekly MACD cross down on Apple here. Again, it's just not good. Let's just go to Microsoft. We don't need to take a look at the chart. Same chart, right? Same stories. Not too far away from the weekly 200, right? 8 crossing under the 21, which is actually not as good for Microsoft here. Again, we're looking at a weekly time frame, right? The daily time frame is a little bit kind of stretched a little bit, so expect a little bounce. Nothing just goes straight down. Nothing does that in the market, right? And so expect that you at some point you'll get an auto bounce here. But again, longer term time frames is just not good. Netflix here. Netflix had a lot of potential. I thought Netflix was going to try to get into this gap here, but yeah, Netflix is another one. Netflix is another one. The algorithm here is saying that we should have bought this dip, but just why you can't trust algorithms, right? Like, they're just programmed a certain kind of way. There needs to be a human element. We've tried so many times to get into this gap here on Netflix between 248 to 324. Been rejected, harshly rejected each time, right? Like, we've just been rejected, right? Like, man, and right now you do have the 8 over the 21, which is still technically bearish, but then you have some indecisiveness in the MACD, right? So, well, I mean, as long as we're in this channel here, it just doesn't look as bad, but just going with the rest of the market, it's not really good either. It's Netflix. Let's look at Google. What more can I say? Look at Google here. Look at it. This is all bearish. This is all bad. This is bad. Yeah. You're looking for some leadership from Google? Don't look here. Right? This is just not good. This is NG. Not good. Not good. Not good. All right. Let's just do a quick reset before we get to the rest of the tickers. All right. So, team, again, this is Charles Becco from Brooklyn Traders, and today we'll be talking about, are we going to crash or nah? Please like, share, and subscribe to us on all platforms at Brooklyn Traders. Also myself, Charles Becco, at Brooklyn Traders. On Clubhouse, I am joined on the stage by a few folk here. So if you are on Clubhouse, check us out on the Stock Analysis Room. This is one of the few shows that is multi-streamed, okay, on online, okay. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, Clubhouse, and YouTube, right? So please check us out there. And today we're breaking down some tickers. We're going to go through the rest of the big tech names, and when the big tech names are done, okay, then we're going to be taking some requests from the audiences, right? So if you're the audience out there, okay, you want to have your ticker broken down, please put it in the chat on Clubhouse or put it in the chat on YouTube. Do not send me a direct message because I will not see it, and I do not have any help today on the back end, right? Just myself today on the show. So, all right, let's get on to it. All right. So that's Google here, right? Again, no leadership, just not good, unfortunately. So that's Google. Let's look at what's the next one? Oh, Amazon. Yeah, I should really fix these charts, right? Like, there's some zones here. Let me just, again, I've been studying the demand and supply zones here, and we're right in between. See, 117.16. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just fix that. Okay. Give me a second, team. I gotta line this up pretty nicely. 103.29. There it is. Boom. All right. So yeah, on Amazon here, we're between heaven and hell. There's a lower channel and an upper channel that Amazon just kind of been in. It's in more of like a downwards wedge. We had this huge pop off of earnings and just been kind of working on that gas, right? But we filled the gap there, the earnings gap. Here it is. We kind of came down, and we're just tumbling down, right? Look for some resistance here at 117.26 on Amazon, and look for us to catch some support in the breadbasket here at 107 on Amazon. All right. Let's see. Oh, we didn't do Meta, right? Meta's getting killed. Yeah. It's a shame. Let me tell you something, team. If you think Facebook is dead, like, I don't think so. They may not be doing everything that Wall Street likes, right? But it's when Wall Street hates things, it's when you're supposed to like them, right? And eventually, I see all the charts eventually looking like this, right? Apple included, right? So Meta's just leading us the way downward, right? But yeah, at some point, we're going to get some support and resistance, right? It may be at $100. I'm not really sure. We're looking at the monthly time frame, and it's looking ugly. Okay, maybe there's a line here at 85, right? There seems to be like I see something there. Hold on, let me just mark that off, right? Because it seems like it took us a while to get over that. You can say 85, 87 handle, right? It took us a few years, actually, right? So let's mark that off. So we're at 136 here, so yeah, I'm looking for 90 on Meta, right? May not happen tomorrow, right? So I'm just think this is going to happen, right? But yeah, I expect all of the charts to look like this eventually, okay? All right, so there we are on Meta. Looks bad on all time frames. There's no surprises there. Okay, let's look at NVIDIA, chip maker. We're peeling through the 200 here. Wow. So for the first time during the pandemic, we were under the 200 here. Oh, no, this is the second week. So we actually made it under last week, right? And here we are again. We are under the 200 here. Indecisiveness from the MACD here. Not really sure what NVIDIA wants to do, but it does look like we're heading downward. I mean, probably one of the easiest shorts in the market, right? Just get up and short NVIDIA. But you got to watch out for those face-ripping rallies, because when they happen, they take your head off, right? Kind of funny. We have the weekly 200 here. So we did get a little auto bounce 3 weeks back, right? Hit it, touch it, bounce. But see, we here, but now we're under, right? So, yeah, NVIDIA's going down. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have fantastic news, right? It just all looks bad. You know, if it looked good, I would tell you. What is something that maybe look... Let's look at UNG, right? Nah. UNG's not looking good. Like, I need a chart that actually looks good. I know TLT got hammered. Let's go see how it's crude. Oil getting knocked in the chin, too. Man. Right? So, price of oil's coming down. Market's going down. Here's probably one of the issues. 10-year treasury, right? 4%. Almost 4%. This is 3 years. This is 10 years. Woof. Look at that. Pop the molly. I'm sweating. Woof. Woof. It's hot, ain't it? That's hot. Let's look back 20 years. Whew. I mean, this hot since the... Look at that. Jeez. $3. I mean, not 3. Less than 1%. That's the $3. From less than 1% to 3.8%. Almost 4% here in the 10-year treasury. That is an incredible rise, right? So yeah, as long as these yields are this high, right, it's going to be very hard for the market, and it's going to also put pressure on the real estate, right, as the interest rates just are out the roof. I think that's it, right? We did. Oh, let's look at Tesla. How can I forget Tesla? I'm in the stock analysis room, right? You guys should have been shouting, Charles Tesla, right? We literally look and play. We play with Tesla every week, I feel, right? Tesla's in this channel, right? But again, just like Apple, right? Tesla's been a bellwether in the market, right? Like, you know, Tesla moves the market. was able to finish positively today. There is this lower channel here, this lower demand zone here that Tesla could kind of get to, and it's been a source of support here for the past couple weeks. Around the 260 area. Been pretty reliable, I would say. Right, you can see the wicks there from previous days. Please don't knock my demand zone drawings, right? I put zero thought into this stuff. I just pick a color and go. Okay, I understand. It's not the same color. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, but we're here for the information. Okay. Yeah, again, just look at the chart here, right? It seems like when we come down here to this 267 area, it seems to be the area that we like to bounce here on Tesla, right? So, again, another inverted hammer. This was a previous demand zone. Now I'm thinking this acting as resistance, right? So let's change that off, all right? Yeah. Here we are. All right, there we are. There we are, team. So, yeah, look to see if we're going to break this 274 area. If we do, we're going down to 267 on Tesla. Just keep it simple. You know, the market generally is going in one direction or another. It's either going up, down, or it's choppy, right? So, depending upon what's going on with the market, you know, just let that be your thing, right? Let it be a thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so, you know, here's Tesla. Okay, nothing to see here. We're in this, again, there's multiple channels here, right? There's a channel between 290 and 300, 260 and 270, 280 and 288, and we're just kind of dancing here. Okay, every day that we're under the 200 is not a good day for Tesla. Okay, you did have the 8 pass over the 200. You did have the 8 pass over the 21 as well, right? You do have the 8 and 21 stacked on top of the 50 as well, right? So that is kind of bullish. So with that being said, let me take a look at my momentum tool here, and let's take a look at Tesla real quick, and let's see. Yeah, we're due for a bounce here for sure on Tesla, I feel. Yeah, just overall, we are due for a bounce, right? So whatever bounce that we do get in the market, whether it be this week or next week, it probably should be shorted into, right? So, yeah, Tesla is due for definitely due for a bounce in the daily time frame, I would say. All right, so that's Tesla. Okay, now we're gonna do our final reset before we get to the rest of the tickers. All right, team. Again, this is Charles Becco, and today we are talking about the stock market. Wondering, are we going to crash? What's happening? So far, it looks really badly. Okay, in the daily, weekly, and the monthly time frames, just everything looks bad. You know, we were looking for some leadership from Apple. Apple on the longer term time frames, right, continue to show some weakness, right? And so expect that at some point, you know, Apple's going to give it the ghost and it's going to break down out of its channel. But on the shorter term time frame, we are looking for a bounce in all equities, right? A daily bounce at some point. I'm your host, Charles Becco, former financial advisor. Follow me on all platforms at Charles Becco, and I am your host from Brooklyn Traders. Brooklyn Traders on all platforms, okay? Stock tips, tricks, stock market analysis, and we have a group. So check us out there, www.brooklyntraders.net. Right now, we will be going to your tickers, okay? We're going to be looking at the stocks that you want us to look at, right? Again, one of the few shows that will take the time to actually break down some of the tickers that you, ladies and gentlemen, platform want to watch, right? And so we did see Tanya Harris here on, I see this, what's this, YouTube? Okay, we do see Tanya Harris on YouTube, and Tanya wants to look at AMD, and we will be doing that right now. All right, so let's look at AMD. All right. Oh, we got somebody streaming from Twitch. What's up, Twitch guy? Thanks for checking out our show. Appreciate you. That's why we stream to Twitch. Yeah, AMD not looking good. Sorry. AMD was one of the ones that it, just wasn't looking as fantastic anyway. And yeah. You are at the weekly 50, right? And you haven't been at the weekly 50 since the pandemic, right? So no, shoot, this is the monthly 50 on oh yeah, you're at the monthly 50 here. So yeah, I expect some kind of bounce. You have not touched the weekly 50 at all since the pandemic, I'm sure. Hold on. Give me a second. How much is this set to 3 years? Let me make it like 5 years. Yeah, we touched the... Oh, yeah, we haven't touched the weekly 50 in a long time. We haven't even come close since 2008. My goodness. Let's look at all-time chart. I don't think we've ever... Not ever, but we haven't touched the weekly 50 in a long time. I mean... What's this, 2014? 2016 is the last time, and you see AMD was not going anywhere, right? So you're talking when AMD was like $5 a share, right? Back in 2014. That was the last time we were touching the weekly 50, right? So here's the monthly, right? So, team, here's what I want everybody to understand, right? Okay? 2015, AMD is $3. 2020, AMD is $30. AMD ran up to, from 2020, right? Which is a time where, just so many aspects of the market and so many companies and so many families like materially lost value, right? And in this type of environment, AMD ran from $37 to $164. If I just showed this chart to anybody and asked them what this looks like, if I removed AMD here, I didn't tell them this is a monthly chart, you know what they would say? They'll probably think that this is a pump and dump, right? Because pump and dump charts look like this. And, man, I do expect some support here. I cannot believe AMD. Yeah, we're back at $66. Look for us to potentially come down to 52 here. Okay, there is some strong support here in 52, but team, there's nothing that says that AMD cannot be $23. Okay, I know that sounds wild, right? Anything can happen, man. Okay, anything could happen. And while I'm on this monthly chart, let's look at your favorites, right? Meta, Netflix, right? At some point, you come down to test. At some point, Apple. See, Apple is still chilling up here. You see, the reason why we haven't crashed, I think, is because stocks like Apple is still up here, right? Look at Tesla here for comparison, right? Right? Okay. Microsoft, I know it has a little bit of leadership here. Just starting to break, right? So look at this. Look at this. The 8 passing under the 21 on the monthly time frame here on Microsoft. This is the issue, right? Again, you have very strong parts of the markets versus some very weak parts of the market as well. So that's what we got. So team, that's basically it. Okay, some strength mixed with weakness. Just be careful. Don't get clapped. Yeah, this is just what we have. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And I want everybody to please take your time with the market. Don't try to rush. Don't get clapped. And just take care of yourself. Follow us on all platforms. This is not looking good. Do what you have to do to defend your portfolio. Nothing you hear today is financial advice. And team, I want to thank everybody and take care. Thank you. Make sure to follow us on all platforms, y'all.